do get a little choppy. I don't want you guys falling over or getting scratched on any of the long thorns we're passing pretty close to, especially on the bushes. Also, keep it tight holding any loose items that you have. If you happen to drop something while we're out here, ain't a whole lot I can do about that. I can't stop to pick it up for you. Just let me know what you dropped and where you dropped it at the end of the trip. And the wardens will do their best to retrieve the item for you by the end of the day. Keep in mind, though, you may not get that item back. And if you do get it back, well, it might not be in the same condition or the same amount of pieces that you left it in. So don't drop anything. Use the wrist strap or neck strap that came with your camera. Put any large bags on the floor. And we're going to begin our journey in the Aturi Forest. Now, the animals that live in the forest love to camouflage themselves against the thick trees and bushes using their highly specialized coats to keep your eyes open. You don't know what you're going to see or where you might see it. Off to the right there, that is an okapi. There's also a smaller brown antelope. That's a yellowback duiker.
See it?
Now, the okapi is so shy and reclusive that the Western world didn't really know about them until around 1901. They have a body of a horse and the legs of a zebra, so obviously their only living relative is the giraffe. The yellowback duiker gets his name from the yellow hairs that grow on its back, and the Afrikaans word duiker, which means diver. When that yellowback duiker is frightened, those hairs on his back will stand up, make a very loud shrieking sound, and dive into the bushes. Actually, they're quite funny. But a lot of the animals in the forest have learned to recognize that sound that they make as a sign of danger, that there might be something around that can hurt them, so they stay on their guard. That is a black rhino across the water to your left. Now, there are fewer than 5,000 black rhinos left in the entire world. They are poached extensively for their horns. Their horns are made out of keratin. Keratin's the same stuff your hair, nails, and most of your skin's made out of. Now, unfortunately, there's only about 3,000. No, there's not. At least I already said how many rhinos there were. There's about 5,000 left. I already said that. But they weigh about 3,000 pounds, and they have a curved hook-like upper lip, which they use for foraging. We call that browsing. The upper lip is prehensile, so they can move it around, pick things up with it. Kind of like a hand. They're very solitary animals, so you don't see them very close together that often. Over to the right here, that is a greater kudu. The greater kudu is the second tallest species of antelope in Africa. They're about 5 feet tall. They're one of the few species of antelope where only the males have horns. And the copper-colored antelope are bongos. Now, bongos, there's only one of them, or 2 or 3 of them that are there they can see, but bongos have these uniquely shaped horns which allow them to run through thick trees and bushes without getting tangled up in any low-hanging vines or branches. And they're so stealthy and rarely seen that actually be the ghost of the forest. Now, the savannah is still quite a ways off, so we're going to take a bit of a shortcut, if you guys don't mind. We're going to go right through the Safi River. The Safi River is a tributary of the Nile River. It runs through the Aturi Forest, and it's a pretty good spot to see animals like hippos, crocodiles, and pelicans. I don't know if we'll see any hippos that well right now. Hippos are more of a nighttime animal, so if you come back later tonight when the sun is down, you might see some hippos all over the place. That's a pink-back pelican on the right there. Gray bird swimming through the water. A whole bunch more on the left too. And there's a hippo. Okay, there's a couple of hippos. Pink-back pelican is the smallest species of pelican with a wingspan of about 7 feet. They're best known for the stripe of pink feathers that grows across their back during mating season, and only during mating season. Nile hippos weigh about 5,500 pounds, and they can hold their breath for about 8 minutes at a time. Now, they are nocturnal, so they spend most of their day underwater. Even though they spend a lot of time underwater, it doesn't mean that they're good swimmers. They're actually negatively buoyant, so they sink. They kind of flop and bounce their way along the riverbed, and that's how they get around. Sink to the bottom of the river. There's another one down there. On land, though, they can run at about 35 miles per hour. And they'll travel up to 2 miles in search of food at night. Down here on the left, these are Nile crocodiles. Nile crocodiles are about 20 feet long. They have a bone-crushing bite force of over 2,000 pounds per square inch. And they are diurnal. Diurnal means they're most active during the daytime. They're also ectothermic, which means that they are cold-blooded. lion, the huge sun on their bodies. The savannah is just on the other side of this hill. The savannah stretches across most of Central Africa. It's almost like a super highway. So the animals migrate across it every year following the rain, and the fresh grass comes along with that rain. Out here, we're going to see some of the more popular animals you're all probably familiar with, such as elephants, lions, giraffe, cheetahs, and zebra. Not necessarily in Watusi cattle after the African tribe domesticated them around 2,500 years ago. With their horns about 6 to 8 feet long from tip to tip and 20 inches in circumference around the base. They have a sort of honeycomb.
I did.
Hunters now. They are predators. They're not scavengers. They hunt for their food. They're very good at hunting. Better at hunting than lions, anyways. They're also a female-dominated species. Now those were sable animals. Another day eating. Oh no! Don't you go on the road. I think that's exactly what she's about to do. Or not. No, you're just gonna stop there, so I can't stop. Cool. Yeah, she's a little too close. I don't want to stop this close to her because she will stick her head inside the truck. I don't want that. She's giving you your best angle though. So there are those Maasai giraffe. I just talked about them. The Ankole, largest monkeys in Africa. That's actually the dominant male right there. The big guy moving around there. They form social bonds by grooming each other. I wonder if you want to look at it from here. No, they take anywhere from 9 to 13 years to mature. The females don't really take as long as the males do to reach maturity, but once the male elephant does reach... But like, come on guys, pray. This is a white rhino. What kind of rhino do we see out in the forest? We saw a black rhino. Not the color. Lions sleep for up to 20 hours. Yeah, lions are